basic Bible training today is because whenever there's basic Bible training, it's a long day for my leg. So I'm going to move it towards next week because my leg, yesterday, if you weren't around, yesterday we had the funeral service, memorial service for our Tita Lisa, our church member here, and it's like an all-day busy thing for the family, and also Tito Pete was in the hospital on Monday, so it's just been a long week, but you know it's good to be able to be here in God's house because you know the Bible says that the Lord is our shelter in time of storm. So like when we're having difficulties and having problems, no better place to relax or to like get a breath than here in God's house. So I just wanted to say thank you for those who were able to help out yesterday. We had a good turnout from our church members, and our family noticed that, and it was a blessing. And I had some tracts there. I don't know where they are anymore, but I know a lot of people took some of our gospel tracts, and they gave the gospel tracts out to people. And during the ceremony, we were able to share the gospel by doing having the sinner's prayer, and it sounded like a good amount of people were able to say it, and I hope and pray that the Lord will continue to work in those people's lives, and we're thankful for that. So all in all, it's good to be here. Today is Palm Sunday, which really doesn't mean too much.
My last name,
Palm.
Domingo de Ramos.
Ramos is Palm?
No, Domingo de Ramos. Palm Sunday.
So Palm is Ramos? Oh, I didn't know that.
Now you know.
Now I know, yeah. I learned something today. Ramos. My wife's maiden name? I guess no. What's before maiden? Ramos. Sharon Ramos Mandani. So what's the one matriarchal name is Ramos? I didn't know Palm. I didn't know that. Palm. So Paul Mandani is Paul
Ramos.
Palm. What about Mandani? Does Mandani have any? No biblical name. Oh, yeah. Amen. It's true. Good looking. That's a good name. I like that one. Palm. That's a good one. So that's a blessing. Well, we'll talk more about that next in the worship service because I do want to talk about Palm Sunday. But today we're finishing off. We're really finishing off our book of Acts. If you guys remember, we started Acts when I started. So now we have some more flowers here. Look at that. Oh wow. Oh, even more. Let's see. All right. Amen. They're beautiful flowers. All right. Today is Palm Sunday, but it's more Flowers Sunday. Yeah, beautiful flowers. If you want, Tito Ricky, put some on the back of the girl's ears. Beautiful flowers. Well, I know. Well, we'll see. We are all aware of my allergies. So let's see how this turns out. No, I'm sure it's fine. But anyways, with the book of Acts, we started from Acts chapter 1, verse 1, and now we're finishing Acts chapter 28, verse 30. Isn't that cool? We completely finished it, so you guys are doing great. So if I ask you anything about Acts, you guys should know, amen? You guys know you're here, right? Let's have a no quiz. But it's very important to see that we're growing. You guys are doing a good job. You know, people say that, what did you learn in church? I don't know. No, we are. We're learning something. We're getting something, and we're moving through the Bible. And as we move through the Bible, guess what? The Bible moves within us. Amen? So praise the Lord that we got to the book of Acts and we could see Paul's journey. We see Paul getting saved. We see Paul changing his life. But we see what happens when Paul got saved. He got some torments and struggles from the world. But every struggle from the world, God is with him. And you know, I think that's something that we can be thankful for in our lives. That, you know, even though you're struggling as a Christian and some problems, God is always with us. Amen? Amen. He's always with us. And that's what's going on through Paul's life. And spoiler alert, if you don't know, Paul ends up dying for the cause of Christ. But his death has brought so many people to the Lord. You know, his life brought so many people to the Lord. It was worth so many things. It saved so many people. And what a wonderful thing it is to see that even though you're dead and gone, God can still use you. Amen? Amen. So, on that, let's enjoy the final Acts chapter 28, verse 17 through 31. Acts chapter 28, verse 17 to 31. Amen. Acts chapter 17, or 28, 17 through 31. If you can continue to pray for our family and all the struggles and heartbreaks and losses. For as thou concernest this sect, we know that every